Hi, I'm Tom.
I'm Matty.
And I'm Lewis.
This is the Wigan Way, Wigan's favourite rugby league podcast.
He'll put you in his trap 'cause he's a union man. He's got it all figured out. He won't care what you think 'cause he's a northern man. He's allowed to speak his mind. His
So, Matty, we just got back from Castleford. Bit of a strange one, really. Normally we give it a couple of days to record these podcasts, but with life and things that we've all got on, we've decided to do it straight away.
Yeah.
So luckily we're doing it after a win, otherwise we might be a little bit angry on this
The weird
episode.
thing is, the three of us, we're a lot more predictable and a lot less busy if we've got work on.
Yeah, you know what's going on.
We're not working tomorrow, so yeah. It saves me driving all the way over here again. So yeah, we just got back from Castleford. Full disclosure, we have watched the highlights back. We've not been able to watch the full game back, but we were there, and an enjoyable win.
Yeah, enjoyable win. Obviously, we should say Lewis isn't here. He's gone
on holiday earlier.
Half-term holiday. So, just me and you going.
Yeah.
The tough games like this.
Oh, really tough.
I think
away games are, at the start of the season are always tough because teams have prepared for 6 months. Well, the Cass's last game would have been in start of September.
Well, we talked about this. It was a conversation that we had with the lads that we were stood with, and these are the worst games for Wigan. Teams like Wigan are preparing to be ready to win in August, September, October. Some of the teams down the bottom of the table have spent all season being ready to start the next one. Off-season being ready to
And
win
obviously the off-season starts earlier and they bring a lot of players in, try and make them gel. New coach for Castleford in Castleford's case, and we will talk about it a bit later on, but there's obviously a couple of big results this week where teams that are not expected to do very well have turned over teams that are. And it's quite simply because you are putting all your eggs in this start of the season basket. You're all up for it. It's tough. It is tough. And
when you've had a bad season before,
your crowd are right up for it. Your crowd are well up for it. And winning up is all that matters in them games.
Yeah.
Especially the way this week's gone. Hull KR have lost, St. have lost. Who else lost?
I think the actual words were
Leeds.
Were 2 points, no injuries, move on to next week.
If you can win when the others have lost, you can be very, very happy with a week's. Losing to Cass is in the first game away from home. We've done it before.
Yeah.
Early in the season. We've got a good record there in the past few years, but for a long time we didn't. And you almost wish your first game was Hull KR away, or Saints away, or Leeds away, Hull away. Games you could lose any time in the year. And then if you do lose it, no big deal. Whereas this, you feel like if you got this game in August, no disrespect to Castleford, but you walk over them.
Yeah.
And that's how
because you're getting ready for playoff football.
Yeah. And they're getting ready for
end of season, Mad Monday.
Normally, yeah. So it's a difficult time to play Cass away. We always seem to get it.
To sum it up, they've spent 6 months hoping for a good start to the season because the season before wasn't great. And there's a few clubs like that. Those at near the bottom spend all the off season to win that first game. It's the grand final.
Yeah.
Get off to a good start, and then we'll see where we're at. Where the top clubs don't do that.
No, but if you can get out of the first weekend with 2 points, you'll be happy. I mean, we didn't do it last year, did we?
No.
We didn't do it in 2023. So I'm very happy to have got away with 2 points there. I do think it was pretty routine. We'll talk about the game a lot, but I do think it was a pretty routine performance. I think we were dominant from... I mean, they had a couple of spells in the game, Cass, but it felt like we were dominant for most of the game. It always felt like we were going to win. There wasn't a single second in the whole game I thought we were going to lose.
No.
I think the scoreline flatters them because they scored 2 late tries in what the Americans would call garbage time.
Yeah.
But I think that was after we'd had a yellow card on one of them. It was after we took off 3 of our best players to rest them. yeah, I'm very, very happy with that standard routine away win at Cass.
Yeah, we've obviously put a post out straight away as soon as we left the ground, and obviously I'm driving. You were having a readout of some of the tweets that had been sent in, and some of them that you just saw, and I think it again comes back to that. There's a lot of negativity around today's result in terms of too many mistakes, too many penalties, defence wasn't good enough.
But I think there's high expectations, which is perfectly fine.
Yeah.
We can do have high expectations, and if that game was mid-season, I think we probably would agree with them.
Yeah.
But it's round one. You're going to be rusty. You're going to take some time to kick into gear, and all that matters in round one is winning.
Yeah. You don't win comps
No.
in February.
No. And I do think that those errors will be cleaned up.
Yeah.
And I think I thought our defence was fantastic for however many, 68 minutes of the game. Today it was fantastic, and so I have no problems with that. And I was really happy with how the game went overall. I was really happy that we actually took control of it, that we tired them out in the first half, worked them hard, and took our chances enough to have a pretty standard routine win.
Yeah, definitely. Should we dive into some of the main events of this game then? Obviously, Castleford opened the scoring. Starts off with a great tackle from Bevan on Mellor.
Alex Mellor. It's off the back of a 6 again, and they get a quick play the ball, and Mellor crashes over, or we thought he crashed over, but French somehow stopped him, and then Liam Hood. Well, it was like a typical Liam Hood move, wasn't it? He saw the gap in the defence and went for it and barged over, which a bit disappointed. I mean, it's a weird one, because if you concede the original try to Mellor, you don't think that's so disappointing, because it's off the back of a quick play the ball, it's a nice pass. You think, they've done well there to score. But because we stop him, then concede, it almost feels a lot more disappointing.
Yeah, that's almost a try you expect to concede in the 60th minute when defences have got a little bit tired and the 9 steps out and scores from the play of the ball. Probably shouldn't concede that after 8 minutes.
Probably not, but I can see why we did. Scrambling after the first nearly try for Mellor.
Yeah, I do think we're going to talk about this quite a lot this season with the new interpretation of the rucks that is going to be a talking point through the rest of the games. But sometimes you're going to end up doing effectively 10 plus tackles on your own line.
Well, you said to me yesterday, didn't you? You phoned me up yesterday and said there's going to be some times where you can't not concede.
Yeah.
If you get pinged for 6 again, and they get marched down the field, there's going to be some times where it just
becomes inevitable.
There's just too much happening, and your defensive line cannot deal with it.
Yeah. Or almost sometimes where you think it might be better to give a penalty away here than a 6 again.
Yeah.
And if you give a penalty away, at least you can get set for 6 rather than going 6 again, and you're now on tackle 12, 13, and players are not in the right place.
I think there's going to be more tries scored per game this year for that reason. I quite like the have a penalty, set your line, try and break us down sort of mould, but I can also see the benefit of the league seeing more tries.
Yes,
And the 6 again rule will cause more tries to be scored.
Yes.
As a fan of Wigan, I hope we can deal with that well, and that we can exploit it well when we've got the ball. I feel like we can. But I do think it's going to be difficult to defend our line, and I think that losing teams are going to score more points this year than ever.
Yeah.
And if we can get our heads around that now, that'll help us when the season, kicks into gear. My only thing is this going to be the case for every game? Or when Wigan play Lee in a few weeks, are they going to ref it differently again?
I always have this conversation, and usually it's been over higher tackle interpretations, that we're going to be really strict on high tackles and we see loads of cards early on.
Oh yeah, they might just give it up after 5 weeks.
And then after 5 weeks the game changes again and it becomes a little bit more normalised. So we'll have to see how that's done. I do think this season we're not going to get as many 14 6s, but we might just end up adding 10 onto each and it being 24, 16.
Yeah.
And just...
It shouldn't be something that any one team can exploit. It should be available for both teams to exploit. And yes, the losing team scores more points, but so does the winning team pretty evenly. And there's just more tries per game. And that's good for Betfred. It's good for
the spectacle.
Spectators. It's good for the spectacles. It's good for, when we go to Vegas, I suppose.
Yeah. Now, that's 6-0 and 7-8 minutes into the game. But we do, without scoring and the attack not flowing to its best, we do spend a lot of time on Cassie's defensive line.
So Eckersley had a chance to score, to open the scoring, that was really well defended by Gary, and he saved the try basically.
I was saying Farrell had one from a kick that was knocked back and...
No. The two chances we had were Eckersley, where he was positioned the ball in one hand and Gary knocked it out. And the other one was Kieran, where he caught the high kick, reached over, was over the line and dropped the ball.
Yeah, but there was the Farrell chance where we got tackled short. I remember, was it Taff knocked on?
Yes.
And ball fumbled round.
Taff knocked on, returning a kick, and Farrell got caught. But I don't know how far away he was.
I think he was short of the line. It's not on the highlights.
No, he was definitely short of the line, but I don't know how short he was because it was at the opposite end of the stadium.
But again, chances and position. And again, there doesn't need to be a desperate... You hear it sometimes where we feel and sound panicked. We have to score here, we have to score. And that does happen at games. We've been there and go, we need a try here.
Yeah.
But there wasn't that feeling here. It was take it out of the tank, keep going, even though we're not getting the final glory of a try. And
I think we've seen the difference between the two packs on the day and thought, theirs is a pack that's kind of a bit over the hill. Don't want to say, but probably is a bit over the hill. Had a lot of games between them, and our bench is X factor.
Yeah.
And thought, if we can keep battering them here, batter them down, wear them down, make them move a lot. It's a short pitch in terms of distance, but it's a long pitch in terms of how long the grass is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it was a bit muddy.
Yeah.
And so if you can keep making them forwards move laterally, keep making them make tackles.
Well, it is interesting you say that, because everyone thinks of going to Castleford and points being put on and whatever. But actually, when the conditions don't suit, it almost plays against you, the narrow pitch, the short pitch. You can't really win an arm wrestle.
That's another reason why it's harder to win there in February than it is to win and why we've seen this when we went in August. Or what month did we go in the Challenge Cup there and just dominate? It was a June,
around
July,
Easter,
I can't remember.
Just after Easter. Really sunny Easter, I remember, and we put points on for fun.
Yeah. In the quad season, that.
But that was it. And we just kept staying down there, even though we made a couple of mistakes and we weren't at our flowing best. We just kept possession down there.
Yeah.
And Castleford never really got out for any length of time. Time to breathe, time to relax. They rolled the props on. I think we only took our starting props after 25 minutes.
Yeah.
And then it's that play that we do, right to left. Smith really bites into the line, finds Field with some depth, and Field picks the right pass. Leaves
Marshall one-on-one, and then against the half-back, it's a mismatch that, isn't it? One-on-one against the half-back, he's going to step and score with all that space. Going to make it, 6-4.
Yeah. 6-4. Kieran misses the conversion. But what I like here is we've scored, and it's that mentality of roll and go again. And we actually bring on Mago. And a lot of people have praised Mago. We post our Wigan away points that we selected, and we'll talk about that later. Spoiler, we didn't pick Mago for the 5-4-3-2. But a lot of people praised him. But I also thought he was used excellently by Pete. We've just scored, there's 7 minutes left. Let's roll him and let's get down into good field position again. We used him for a short impact, 20 minutes. And
that's what counts against him when you think about impact over the whole game. But he obviously did have a huge impact when he came on. He had 3 kick-off returns, and on all 3 of them, Jay Field was backing up, and he gave it to him one time when we got down the field. We'll talk about that in a bit. He had a good couple of barnstorming runs. He didn't throw any stupid offloads. He defended
like he needed to,
especially in his first stint. So, yeah, happy with Mago, but we just thought they were excellent
The
candidates.
eye-catching stuff that he does means that he doesn't play 40 minutes. It means that he plays 20 minutes and is that...
And there are some games where Mago has got picked up points. I think he got 5 one time.
I think he got 5 when he played Hull Car at home.
Yeah, he did get 5 that day, I think. So it just depends on the game itself. And I do think our other middles were fantastic. We gave points to O'Neill, Partington. We almost gave 2 points to Havard. He was the next one in. So our middles were fantastic. Thompson was fantastic.
Yeah.
Really good pack play today from Wigan, especially the middles. And we'll talk about Oliver Partington.
We'll probably do a player talk at the end of this.
At the end of this section, but yeah, we were impressed with him.
Yeah. So we obviously bring Mago on, start to roll down the field again, and we get good field position straight after the Marshall try. We aren't able to convert. We throw... I think that's when the Kieran...
No, that was when we threw it in touch.
We threw it in touch.
Like Kieran was before the try. But I don't mind making errors if you try and score a try.
Yeah,
I've always said that.
That's the conversation. And obviously, again, we mentioned it.
You can see 7 errors in a half and you think that's too many. But where are you making them? If you're making 7 errors coming out of your own end, you're going to get punished with 2 or 3 tries at least going the other way. If you make an error trying to score, the worst you can do is a 7 tackle set. You probably pinned them down there anyway. You're trying to score a try. It comes off, you scored a brilliant try, you get 6 points. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
You should defend that
I don't mind errors being up that end of the pitch.
Yeah, agreed.
So now, throw that ball. You might score off it. We're doing the second half.
Yes, exactly. Now it's 6 points to 4. We're going to probably think we deserve another try. Castleford are probably thinking...
They deserve that 2-point lead, probably.
Yeah, and both sides aren't wrong, though.
They didn't take 2, which we thought was the right decision for them, not to take 2. Obviously, it came back to bite them. But we thought them going for the try was the better option, having 6 tackles on our line, rather than go to 8-4.
I think our conversation was... Very rare that you beat, as the underdog, you beat a side by 2 points.
No, that's not right. You mean by taking the 2?
Yeah.
Because you could beat them by 2 points and it's 5 tries to 4 and Kieran misses a kick.
It's very rare that you win a game against a top team 6-4. You're going to have to get a couple of tries while you're down there.
Yeah.
And they chanced it. They went for it. I think it's the brave decision.
Yeah.
And if you're suddenly going in 12 points to 4, your thought is if we can get 1 here.
Yeah, all you need is 1 in the second half to blow the game wide open, make it 18-4.
And we're going to panic.
3 scores.
Unfortunately, they don't put the pressure on. I think they complete the set, but they didn't obviously convert into a try.
There was definitely a time where Marshall collected a kick in his own in goal and we had a 7 tackle set, which...
a little bit of a coach killer.
We tried to play quickly and Field got belted high. So that piggybacked us down there. I think that might have been when Eckersley
Marshall tapped it, obviously.
One of the extra ones. But, the try just before half-time was a killer for Cass.
Well, we saw the reel when we clicked on YouTube to watch the highlights. We saw the reel and it's what Wigan do. And that is it, really. We do a lot more. It's very easy to say we play off the cuff rugby and we just throw it around and give it to French and Field. But it comes from a kick. I think it's Dejanazzi knocks the ball back or lets it bounce.
I think you kind of just let it bounce.
Yeah.
And I can see why, because if it takes a funny bounce or...
Goes anywhere.
You can go anywhere. And luckily it went into the hands of Ethan Havard.
Dives on it. Plays the ball.
Field went great there. He moved laterally.
Yeah, well,
created some space.
When you actually watch, Field goes into the hooking position and he almost gives the pass. I'm not certain who the prop was, but it was like we set up immediately to just take a carry and then let's get a set, and then
he goes back.
It was Partington.
It was Partington ready to take a carry, wasn't
it? But obviously, Field then just looks up and sees that the numbers aren't right, even though they've got back, sort of.
Yeah.
if he can beat the A defender, they've got a 3-on-3, and that's a great opportunity for Field, French, and Eckersley.
Well, you got them three. They're quicker than any three you could put up on the opposite side.
Yeah, he beats his A defender, gets French 2-on-2, who finds Eckersley into space.
Yeah,
Eckersley does brilliant.
We kind of, well, if you're wondering, we were where the pizza van used to be, which is a great loss for the Super League.
Yeah,
the pizza van going. But we couldn't really see. It was down our side, so we could see what was going on, but we couldn't really see if there was a space for him to pass back inside.
Yeah.
And when you look at the vision on the replay, it still doesn't look like there's loads of space. Because there's lots of amber shirts there. But if you've got French backing up, you're going to be pretty confident he's going to get ahead of his opponent and get a chance. And I think a couple of the Castle lads just kind of switch off a bit. They think, right, he's gone past me. Eckersley's either going to score or Taft's going to stop him and we can get back and defend the next tackle. There's nothing more we can do at this point. Mm-hmm. And they kind of switch off and start jogging. And French burns past them and gets the return ball.
But again, do you know...
Another thing is, when you are making a break, if you're the winger and you're jamming in and French passes it to Eckersley, you've got to hold on to Bevan French for about 3 seconds. Don't knock him down.
Yeah.
Don't pull his shirt. Just basically stand in front of him for 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Give him a bit of a hug.
Yeah, a bit of a burr hug.
Bit of a wrestle, and then you can let him go before you get in trouble from the referee. And he's not got enough time to get up there and get the return ball. I've said that for years. You could have stopped half of Richie Myler's tries by doing that, or Danny Maguire's tries.
We talk about it at the Tottenham game where we played Huddersfield and the J Field try.
Yeah,
where they
you've got to stop J Field from backing up. Otherwise, it's a nice break, yes. But it's not a guaranteed try. No.
And that's it again. And I think that comes down to the fatigue that we put into them. You see the work that the outside backs and the centres did jamming in, the cover tackles. We were talking about the cover tackle on Eckersley where they knocked the ball out at the big celebration. That when you get into the 37th, 38th minute of a game, the concentration and the immediate thought of I need to get back isn't where you go.
You haven't got the level to go again, the energy level to go again.
Yeah. And people like Field and French and Eckersley do. That's what they train for. We do make another mistake just before half-time, worth mentioning, right on the half-time whistle, and that's classed as one of the mistakes that we made. But again, from our own half, we throw the ball, ends up in touch. If it hits Eckersley's hands, we're in again. Doesn't quite go, goes out to touch. And that ends the first half.
At the end of the first half, we got in with a 10-6 lead. Very happy. Spent the half-time thinking, yeah, we've battered them there, battered and bruised them.
Yeah.
Come out in the second half, try and roll them a couple of times.
And I know Lewis isn't here. I will say his favourite phrase, first try is massive.
Yeah.
You get the first try. If Castle get the first try, go to 12,
game on,
10.
It's all game on.
It's game on. Crowd gets going.
Yeah.
Wigan do what we do after half-time and it just kills the crowd. And it's almost like a...
Oh, the crowd was so up for it in the first half, and then as soon as this happens, to start the second, it was like someone had popped a balloon inside there, and I can understand why. It would have been the same for us.
Yeah. Well, we should mention it, obviously, from kick-off. Great carry from Mago and Field backing up on the inside.
Yeah.
I do want to mention a little thing before this. This isn't just, he's backed up because he's got his arm free.
He backs up every time.
He backs up every single time. From 2022.
Yep.
Where he scores against Leeds and sort of announces himself as the full-back that he is, to 2026, round 1. J Field's done this at every opportunity.
Yeah.
And
yes.
How were people surprised? I still found myself going, if he'd have got his arm free, then it's try time.
Yeah. But this is a difficult man to stop, Patrick Mago. A difficult man to stop. Cade Ellis, difficult man to stop off these return. Sam Esse.
Yeah. All difficult. Now, when we talk about backing up, you immediately see Bevan trying to back up and Eckersley. Bevan gets tangled up in a Castleford player, completely accidental, not a penalty, nothing at all.
No.
But you can see the bodies that immediately go, I need to get up there alongside him.
Kieran's trying to get up there. You've got Eckersley trying to get up there.
Yeah.
Field instead takes the tackle. And we end up scoring anyway.
Yeah, well, we come in, I think it's 2 more carries, and we end up with on the line from the first set of the game, set of second half, and it's Brad O'Neill go through the hands, find Bevan French, and it's just that wait to see.
Yeah, it's just numbers, isn't it? When you've got a tackle on the post, we say it every time. If you can get tackled on a post, it just sets up the numbers. It's so difficult to set the numbers right. And you look at this try at the end and you think, oh, it's a 3-on-2. He's thrown a face ball, the winger's in no man's land, and it's a try for Eckersley. But it starts so much earlier than that. Because if you're not set up on a post, you can number up correctly. If you don't get the execution perfect with that pass from 9, then you can slide and stop it. And the other thing is, which we've not really said for a while, if you haven't hit the lead runner a few times, then you don't have to respect that as an option.
Yeah.
On this, we hit the lead runner 3 or 4 times, and you can hear the moans and groans, and I can understand it because we've not thrown it at the back. But it's just playing the long game. You have to hit the lead runner, hit the lead runner, and then when their eyes are in, then you can play out. That's the only way it works.
I want to put something out there. We've just gone through round 1. I'm going to say 10 times today with Smith hitting a December on the short ball. And nothing came from it. We didn't score. We didn't knock on over the line. We weren't right there. But by round 5, we'll end up having 2 or 3 walk-in tries from people being worried about field, knowing that's where the try threat is. And we'll just hit December, we'll just hit Farrell, we'll hit Sam Walters, whoever's played in that second row role.
And listen, I think they're defending it right. You've got to respect the man at hand. You've got to respect the lead runner.
Exactly. But we know, and we've seen it for years gone by, that when you start to get into the season and people are worried about the threat, they've seen that Jay Field's already got 7 tries. They've seen that Bevan French has got...
Eckersley's got loads from finishing off these moves.
Yeah. That you think, I have to cheat this, I have to try and deal with Bevan.
You're playing the intercept, or you're leaving Junior wide open, and then all of a sudden different players are going to score. And that's just rugby.
And we know Harry Smith, Bevan French, Jay Field are good enough to pick the right option time and time again. And that's what they're paid for.
They get paid enough. I was going to say that. They get paid enough to pick the right option every time.
Yeah. So I do understand the groans. I do understand the disappointment.
Because we throw it wide there and we score. And Eckersley scores another one where we throw it wide.
But if we throw it every time, it doesn't.
Yeah. So that's just the thing to watch out for, is watch how many times we hit the first man and then score later on in the game.
Yeah.
Something to watch for with any team.
That then means at the end of the second half, at the very, very start of the second half, we're 14 points to 6. We get into this wrestle again. A lot of time on Castleford's side, or on Castleford's defensive line. We don't make the breakthrough for a while, but again, it comes off a December offload when he's been hit short. Brad O'Neill, Mago,
Havard does quite
Havard, sorry.
Jumping up and catching the ball. And then again, French, hands, Kieran, hands. It's simple.
Yeah.
But it's as old as time, isn't it? You draw a man and pass.
Again, it comes. We hit the short ball. You pull defenders in. We manage to get the offload, similar to a quick play of the ball.
But it's a smart offload. It's not an offload fraught with danger in your 20.
Yeah.
It's not an offload where you've crashed over and you've nearly scored and you need to quick play the ball. It's a smart offload.
Yeah. Now we do something at this point. We take off Liam Farrell. We take off Harry Smith. We take off
Walters.
Walters comes on for Farrell. Take off Havard.
Yeah, Havard.
Smith, this is his pre-season.
Yes.
Realistically, he's not had one. The same extent. He'll have done the fitness side, but he won't have done the in-game. He's not been playing North Wales Crusaders. He didn't play in the testimonial.
He didn't play against Rochdale.
So 50-60 minutes of him with it. Listen, I'm certain if this game had been much closer, they'd have probably kept him on.
Yes, probably.
But as soon as this scores, we get to a 3-try lead because it's 20 points.
It was literally as soon as we scored.
Yeah.
Subs get made.
3-try lead with a 14-point lead. And they come off. Jack Franman comes on.
Walters
come on to the second row.
And then we put on somebody else will have a Thompson maybe.
Yeah. What I do expect to see of us a little bit more is this last couple of weeks. It happened at Rochdale and it happened today. Next couple of weeks, I could see us taking December off. We know it's not a position that we're the strongest in.
Second row.
We're not the deepest in it, especially now we're using Walters as a prop. So I can see us just managing a little bit of game time in that position. So don't be surprised if we're on top.
Yeah.
To see us doing that. Back to the game. 5 minutes later, we score again. Quick play the ball. Brad O'Neill finds Bevan French, skips across. A little bit of an offload finds Jay Field. This is what we talk about at R9. Doing the basics and getting the hands in the getting the ball in the hands of the players who are paid mega money to create. Bevan finds an offload to Jay, skips across that line, and it was right in front of us. We just saw Wardle take off. And it's that knowing that
it's going to be either a knock on because it's hit him in the chest, or it's going to be a try.
Yeah.
Because you're not stopping it.
No. And Field's doing something, I need to give him an option. Now, Wardle hits that line. If someone slides to try and deal with Wardle, Field goes straight through the gap and scores himself. No one picks the run up. It hits Wardle. Wardle walks in and scores.
It looks easy.
Basically untouched. And you can just see it developing. And that's what to do when these guys have got the ball in their hands. Hit spaces, hit gaps, and they'll pick you when it's right. And
not a hand on him.
It's the way to go. So that's 24 points to 6. Kieran obviously converts it to take it 26-6 at the 65-minute mark.
Well, this is just game over. I mean, anything else after this is just... It's making the scoreline more respectable, isn't it? And flatter Castleford. But when it's 26-6 with 11 minutes to go, the game is, in essence, over as a contest.
Yeah,
and
it would take something special.
And so I can understand why people are disappointed. I'm a little bit disappointed with the concession of 2 late tries, but the game is won. And in round 1, if the game is won, you've done your job.
What did we say at the start? Get 2 points, no injuries, move on to next week.
No bans, although that might not have been accomplished. Yeah. That was a nice try for Ravel Walla, but he'd also given us 2. So there you go. He's -4 on the... On aggregate there.
Yeah. I tell you what, it was noticeable that they went after him in defence.
Yeah, I do think that's because he's a threat. I do think so.
He's the big yardage guy.
I think that's out of respect. Yeah. I do.
He was known as that in the NRL. He made good yardage in the NRL. Probably wasn't a great finisher, and that's why he's not gone to make it over there and come over to England. But from the highlights of the Doncaster game, we saw that he made good yardage. They know what he can do, and they went after him in defence. And every time he did that, if we can win the start of that set, I think Brad O'Neill and Ollie Partington went after him.
They did.
And it showed. Now, we have got to talk about the Kieran yellow card.
Yep.
It's the yellow card. I
think it's orange.
The only reason I don't think it's a red is I think Dejan Arce is starting to fall. I think he's slipped a little bit.
Yeah, I mean the one he did at Warrington before the Challenge Cup final in 2024.
Yeah,
the player was also falling.
But he was in the tackle already with December, and Kieran was joining it as the second man.
Yeah, I think you've just got to be clever with this. If you're jamming in, it's not that late. The problem is the
shoulder,
the fact that he hit him in the head, basically.
Yeah,
or he almost hit him in the head, hit him in the chin, whatever. That's the problem. If he wraps his arms there properly and hits him in the chest, maybe it was a penalty.
Yeah.
But it's not that late. You know, when
well, we watched it, so obviously where we stood, we can't see the screen.
I was watching ball.
So I managed to get my phone on and to watch the replay. And on the first replay, we went, oh, it's a touch late. I don't know. And then you see the replay where it hits him in the head. And you just think, that's silly. At 26 points to 10.
Yeah, the game's won. I do think it's daft, especially when you've got absolute flyers. Like Gary's not scoring there, is he? Let's be honest.
French tackles him incredible.
You've got Bevan French in cover defence. He's not scoring. You've got Field at the back. He's not scoring. Let him get through. Stop him.
Yeah, just hold him.
Which is what they should have done to French in the first half. But don't knock him with your shoulder in his head.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something...
It's just
I
unnecessary.
mean, he might end up with a ban. Depends on how many points he's already on. Because
he was half a point away.
Oh, so they get a ban then. It's not like one where you're going to get hundreds of points and get an automatic ban.
Yeah.
But if he's close to a ban, he probably will pick up a point or two. So, yeah, I can understand him being banned for the next game.
Which is frustrating.
Very.
Now, Castleford do score again.
Also, don't get out of the way early. If you're going to do one daft hit someone in the head thing, and you're going to get
That's his one a year.
get out of the way in the first round.
Yeah, well, we actually had this conversation last year that teams might just pick up bans at certain points to try and get players.
Tactical ban.
Yeah, and Thompson and
who was that footballer who always got his 5th yellow card just before Boxing Day? There's definitely one, isn't there?
I know who you're on about.
Back in the archives, he always seemed to get his 5th booking just before Boxing Day. Never played a Boxing Day.
Yeah, but I know Thompson and Kieran were both close in the semi-final.
Yeah.
So there was a risk of not picking up a ban, try and get through to the grand final. They've obviously not picked anything up between then and now, because they all played in the pre-season.
Brad picked one up, didn't he, in the final?
Yeah, but them two didn't, so...
His yellow card offence.
My understanding is they're half a point away.
Okay.
Now, obviously, they do score again. We'd scrambled really well for a couple of minutes here, and I think this is what happens when the game speeds up.
And you've got 10 minutes defending with with 12 men, and the game's already won.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, and you've taken off a few of your starters. I'm not 100% angry about this try. I think I would have been disappointed to concede it. I think they'll be annoyed to concede it, but it's after the game's already won. You can't be too...
I think that ends up flattering them a little.
It does a bit, but also they put an 80-minute performance out, which we've not seen out of Castleford in the past. We've seen them fold after they would have gone 26-6 and they would have folded and it would have finished 46-6 in the past. The fans were up for it. They probably fed off that a bit. They scored a couple of late tries, make it look respectable.
Yeah.
But on this week of upsets, we weren't one of them, you know. And so, like we talk about Hull FC later, they weren't one of the upsets.
Yeah.
I mean, you could say they nearly were. We weren't nearly. But we weren't one of the upsets. And so, we're in a healthier position than however many teams got upset this week.
I'd much rather be a winner this week than...
Absolutely.
Yeah. Right. We're going to take a quick break.
Or we could do prop chat. Because I want to talk about Ollie Partington.
Oh, go on. Let's do a bit of prop chat.
Well, I just want to talk about forward chat, really, because Ollie Partington has really impressed me. He really impressed us last week, and we thought, you know, it was Rochdale, let's see. And he really impressed me again. So he came on...
I was going to say, let's not beat around it. There was question marks around this signing.
There have been question marks.
A lot of comments on social media about why have we made this signing. And
and I wasn't 100% convinced on it, to tell you the truth, especially the 5 years. We spoke about that 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
Pre-season special. I wasn't 100% convinced on giving 5 years to Ollie, but if he plays like this for 5 years, I'll be over the moon. We've got him very cheap.
Yeah.
He came on after 25 minutes, had 7 or 8 minutes at prop, then played the rest of the game for a loose forward. So he's played 65 minutes and 57 of them were at loose forward. I thought our attack was slick with him at loose forward.
Yeah.
I thought his defence was outstanding, absolutely outstanding. The game, I think, changed on the big hits he put on to knock the ball out of Ravel
Back-to-back
twice,
sets.
back-to-back sets. So we scored off both of them. I think he was a bit of a monster today. And he was only beaten in terms of Wigan Way points by Brad O'Neill, who was everything I've just said there, but for 80 minutes.
Well, I just want to talk about, obviously, a couple of players. And you look at the statistics. Brad O'Neill, 41 tackles.
Well, that's his job.
That's his job.
That's Roy Keane. That's his job, but he did it well.
Yeah.
And they were tackles that count, as Johnny said in the grand final special we did. They were tackles that count.
Yeah. Big tackles. Partington was 23 impactful tackles, averaging 8 metres a carry.
We also linked up nicely with him, and it allowed Cade Ellis to go and play prop, and it allowed Mago to play prop, crucially, which is Mago's best position. It allowed him to run off the back fence from kickoffs and we scored off one of them. It allowed Ellis to run off the back fence from a kick-off. He played it prop as well. And I also think then you've got two players on there who can play 13 ball play. And I thought he was very slick with his handling. He took it to the line nicely, drew a penalty for one of them.
Keep saying it, options. And that meant that none of them had to play 80 minutes.
Yes.
It meant that, and it's going to mean across the season, like Sam Essay didn't play this week. Sam Essay could come in next week.
And you can rest any of the others.
And rest anyone.
Walters was rested last week. I'm sure it'll be Havard's turn or Thompson's turn or whoever next week.
And rather than them all playing 27 plus games.
Plus you're going to get injuries.
It just means that one of them, if they all end up playing 23, 24, it's much better for the fitness of your squad.
Yeah, it's obviously early days for Ollie P in his second stint, but I've been really, really impressed with him. And Brad O'Neill is Brad O'Neill.
Yeah,
let's be honest.
A couple of players I do want to mention. Field running for 160 metres, Marshall running 140, doing what they need to do with good yardage carries. Then looking into the forwards, Luke Thompson ran 120 metres from 16 carries.
And all these metre stats, you can times them by 1.2 because of how short the pitch is, because how much they're actually worth.
Mago, 12 carries for 120 metres.
Yeah, that's
impactful carries.
That is a good impact.
And because of the way this side set up, we talk about it, it allows you to use them. Zach Eckersley, as another back, should have said, ran over 100 metres. So all the stats looking good. Obviously, the errors and the penalties are a little bit disappointing.
They are.
But they will iron out over the 10 to 15 weeks of the season.
We're still. I'm still in the we'll see stage about the new rules. Will it mean more missed tackles? Probably.
Yeah.
Will it mean more errors? Probably. Will it mean more penalties? Yes, definitely.
Well, the thing is as well, if you're going to go six again, you're going to get good field position. So you're going to try and score. You're going to make mistakes.
So you're going to make mistakes.
There's going to be a little bit less.
More tired, so.
It'll be interesting to see when the top teams play each other. Do we get a little bit more control? Do we go a little bit more set for set?
That's
box kicks, pin teams, not make errors, who blinks first? We know big games can be refereed slightly different.
They normally are. We'll see how they get refereed. But yeah, I just thought I would mention just some of our forwards who really aimed up, and Oliver Parkinson in particular in his first Super League game when he came back, give him a bit of credit because it was a signing that was met with a bit of questioning there. But if he plays like that, I wouldn't have any complaints.
Not at all. Right, we'll take a quick break and we'll come back with the news. So a little bit of news to this week. Obviously not a lot happens early on in the season. We don't really start getting contract announcements until later on. But there is a little bit to go on. We'll start with one. Harvey Barron extending at Hull FC till 2029.
Yeah, so both the outstanding young wingers are now locked in, or will need obscene transfer fees, presumably,
to get out of them.
To get out of them from the NRLs. You've got to be happy if you're a Hull FC fan with them two young wingers.
Yeah.
And good for Super League as well, as we said when Lewis Martin extended. Barron, he's good. He's a good player, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's a good winger. Right,
I'm going to start now on some negatives before we finish off with a few positives. Started over at Halifax. Last week, the news broke that they'd been ordered to be liquidated.
Yeah. We
were trying to be positive on that, on what that meant.
Yeah, because it felt like it was a surprise to a lot of people.
Yeah. But they have had the RFL licence removed. Just another bad situation for the game.
Again, another bad news story. Feels like we're heading towards fewer and fewer clubs. Feels like we're headed towards a closed shop top whatever. Ideally 14 or 16, but it feels like we're probably headed towards a top 10 eventually. Maybe even a top 6, where everyone else just can't compete. And it's really, really unfortunate. But that's the world we're living in right now. That some of these really historic clubs who've been around for longer than, a lot of countries have existed, are now falling away because they can't keep the lights on. I think you got to be. It comes down to the luck of the draw sometimes. Rochdale drew Wigan at home in the cup, and that will keep the wolf from the door for a long time now. Because of how much money they'll have made on that day, and then Wigan gave it all back. Lock Lane will be the same, although they're not semi-pro.
Yeah, it's not good. Not
Somebody like where did St Helens go? Workington or Whitehaven?
Yeah.
Whichever one they went to, I can't remember. They'll have got a big boost to their economy and to their coffers. Cool, will get it this time with Warrington. So it's really sad that Halifax, one of the original Super League clubs, are looking like they're going to be falling away. We've seen Salford attempt to come back. Hopefully we can see Halifax attempt one as well.
Yeah, we just have to see how that goes.
Yeah, so some of our most historic clubs that we don't want to lose, that we are losing. Because it's not making enough money, this game at the moment.
No, not at all. Now, I'm going to move on to a little bit of bad news around our rivals, really, for St Helens. Starting off with Brewdog. Brand new stadium.
Yeah, 10-year stadium rights deal.
And
Brewdog.
it's not worked well for them.
Well, it's not worked well for Brewdog. I'm sure it's an inconvenience for St Helens to find a new sponsor, but it's a bit more of an inconvenience for Brewdog, who we know have had some negative press in the past and are got some questionable business practices, as we've read about in the past. But they are a big money company, and for them to be pumping the money into rugby league at London first and now at St Helens, that's a lot of money coming in. You'd think that's not going to be coming in anymore. You would think, with Brewdog not being able to sponsor teams, you'd imagine.
Yeah. Now, staying on the other side of Bill and Jill, or the Wellesby injury.
Oh, that was a bad injury. Yeah.
There's sometimes
really painful injury, didn't it?
There's some times with it there were dislocated shoulders. I think we've seen players dislocate a shoulder and they pop it back in and they just carry on playing.
They said they couldn't put it back in.
That's when it looks awful.
It did look
Don't get me wrong, it looks bad when they're putting it back in and you see the pain they're in.
Yeah.
And you usually see it with fingers, don't you, where they can't get it in. I remember Sam having one where his finger was sideways and they couldn't get it back in.
I've had that before. I've had my finger put back in.
It's not nice. With that, you suspect he's going to be out for some.
Well, you'd think so. If you can't put it straight back in, you'd think he'd be out for a long time, yeah. Which is an interesting one for St Helens. We'll talk about him in a bit, but I think Lees was a huge miss. He's a huge out, Matty Lees. I know I like him a lot, and you agree as well on the talent of Lees as a big minutes prop. And to then miss Wellesby, who I'm surprised wasn't captain actually.
Yeah, I'm very surprised at that.
I thought he'd be captain, but anyway, he wasn't. But he's a leader, and he's one of your better players, and he's one of your offensive sparks. He did it score a try, didn't he?
Yes. Never good.
Try scorer. No, never good, because if he does come back, then it might make him think twice about putting his body in there, scoring again.
Well, everyone talks about when it goes once, the joint's never the same, is it? So,
especially if you can just put it straight back in like that, but it did look bad, and Saints, two of the better players already on the shelf after round one, and they didn't get the win, which we'll talk about later, so it was a bad weekend for them. A very bad weekend for them.
Definitely. Last one with them, obviously after the loss, the John Wilkin rant.
Yeah, this caught me by surprise, I've got to say. John Wilkin has said some things in the past, we've spoken out a few times in the past against the governance of the game.
Yeah.
And I think it was once against maybe the disciplinary or the referee or something. It was video refs, wasn't it, that he spoke out against? And then I thought, wow, that's a bit spiky, but I can understand it because it's from the viewpoint of a fan. This felt more like the viewpoint of a mate.
Yeah.
And like someone who knows the club and has a lot of friends still there. It felt like he was fighting their battles for them. And whether or not they want that to happen, I don't know.
Or whether something just happened. We've all been there where you just get a little bit frustrated.
Yeah.
You can't stop talking.
Yeah.
But some of the points were really telling. He talked about the leadership of the club, and he mentioned that Wellens was told he would have a contract if they reached the grand final, and if they didn't, he wouldn't. Well, that's not a way to run a Super League club.
No.
That one result decides whether you stick with the manager or not.
No. And especially where you have to go away to Craven Park and beat Hull KR, who were on track for a treble. Otherwise, you lose your job, and you feel like, well, hang on, think about the squads we've got out here.
If you do, and it gets down to that point of what happens if you're 24 and you win by a drop goal in Golden Point? Are you really going to sack a coach because he lost in Golden?
It's the KPI thing we talked about with Justin Holbrook at Gold Coast. They were out of the 8 on points difference, and he had to be in the 8 by a certain date, otherwise he'd lose his job. They potted him, and now look where they've been for the last however long it's been since they potted him, 18 months.
But carrying on with John Wilkin, he then went on to...
Not to say, by the way, that Rowley's a bad appointment over Wellens. I do think...
That's a different conversation.
That's a different conversation. The promises you make to Wellens are the problem.
Yeah.
There. If you don't want Wellens to keep the job, I think that's fair enough, because his record in the big games wasn't good enough.
But with that, if you don't want to keep him, you should know that in June.
Yes.
And you should be going, right, Paul, we're going to see out your contract. Yeah. We're already going to find someone else. And you keep it under hush.
Or you just don't say anything.
Yeah.
You just don't say anything.
But
you say I've not decided.
But you would imagine they should have already decided.
Yeah.
Who's going to be coaching them in 2026.
What killed Wellens was the record in big games, which Rowley will have to do better at. But I don't think necessarily getting rid of Wellens was the wrong decision. I just think the way they went about it, clearly, Wilkins sees as the wrong way to go about getting rid of a coach.
Yeah, I can't.
Which I can understand.
He then went on to the Mark Percival situation.
Yes.
Where he said there was a contract agreed in August that has just disappeared.
Yeah.
Now, whether he means Saints have reneged on that contract, whether it means they tried to change the terms of that contract, whether it means that they'd had a handshake deal and they've pulled away from it, going, we've not got anything on paper, so we can.
Well, we don't know, do we?
But either one of them three situations...
Well, if it's any of them three, that's...
Isn't great.
That's poor business practice as well, isn't it? It's not good. Now, again, this is John Wilkin talking here, and we don't know. We assume it's true, because he knows the player, and he knows the club.
He played with him, didn't he?
We assume it's true. And it's pretty damning if it is true. It's not the way you treat your players, especially... Well, it's not the way you treat any player.
No, and we have talked about Saints' squad ageing and needing to refreshen, and
yes,
that's okay, but you still have to behave properly.
Yeah.
You can't just pull a contract from someone if you've agreed it. Now, I tend to believe that that's true, because it would be a big thing for John Wilkin to say on Sky Sports.
It would be a weird lie.
Yeah.
It would be a strange lie to say on live television.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah, he went hard at Saints though, so there must be some things that they're not happy with. We should talk about it, and I hadn't even put it on my notes. Mike Rush is rumoured to have left. Yeah,
well, that was one thing. He said there'll be changes in the higher-ups, did he say, the executive something, and then Mike Rush all of a sudden was rumoured to leave.
I find these things really weird, but Mike Rush is running St. Helens. He appoints Paul Rowley.
Yeah.
And then you get rid of him, or he stands down. Whichever one it turns out to be. After one game.
In Super League.
So has something gone wrong there? If your plan was always to replace... But let's say McManus has made that decision that we're going to remove Mike Rush and do that. Well, surely you'd have done that a year ago. So your new guy can bring in a new coach that he wants.
Yeah. Or you bring in... Or you say to Paul Rowley... You reverse engineer it and you say to Paul Rowley, who do you want as sporting director?
Yeah, the obvious shout for that would be Ian Blease, but he's at Leeds.
Yeah, and maybe he says, I don't know. But then you say, this is your new... Then you say, this is it.
Right, well, I'm going to find one.
I'll find one, I'll interview people, and then this is who you're going to be working with.
I can't see that being the way.
And you can start together.
Yeah, I just can't see it being that way. You know, that you keep a guy in 27 years, been there a long time, you sack your head coach, or you let your head coach's contract run out.
You do your recruitment. So you build a squad together, Rush and Rowley, and then Rush is gone.
Mm.
The way you go about it is either the other way around. Rush goes before the squad gets built, or they both get this year together.
Yeah. And then if Rush said, you've heard it before, what teams have said, just do one more year and then we'll move you on or whatever, and you sort of do a rebuild, and you see it in football, I'll do one more year and get you into a better position.
Yeah.
To leave a decent situation.
Weird.
If this season doesn't go well, and you've then got to find a director of rugby, Rowley's under pressure.
Yeah, but Tom, we're not talking about them having a bad result on Good Friday and that leaves them 5 wins out of 10. This is round 1.
Yeah. It shouldn't be
This is
happening
after
yet.
round 1.
Which tells me then there must have been problems before this.
Mm.
Because it can't be the only problem.
Pre-season must have been fraught with something behind closed doors that we've not seen.
There's a lot of rumours, and
I don't know how many of them.
100,000 rumours, and 5 of them will be true.
Yeah.
But
And probably won't know until...
everything's moved on.
Yeah.
Until someone does a podcast.
Yeah. Or writes a book. That's what it used to be, isn't it?
Yeah. But there must have been issues because they can't let him go off the one game, and that'd be the reason why. There must have been that must have been the straw that brought the camel's back. But
Yes.
it just doesn't. I don't know, and obviously I know there are rivals and whatnot, but it's just a weird situation looking from the
Very
outside.
weird situation.
I'd actually love to sit down with someone who knows what's going on there. If someone could write to us and tell us what they know, but
I can't imagine many Saints fans listening to this.
no.
But you never.
We might put a tweet out about it later.
Mm.
Right. Couple of good or more improved stories. The NRL has said that in 2027, one of the State of Origin games is going to be played in New Zealand.
It'd be the first one.
So, again, better for the game.
Yeah, Abdo and Volandis are both talking about international audiences and international games, and there's an idea they've got that I think Volandis has got an idea where round 1 of the NRL, they've got the 2 games in Vegas, but then every other game is somewhere else in the world.
Yeah, and that's for them to decide.
And it's a bit like F1.
It was to get rid of the magic round, wasn't
You
it?
can do like a whole weekend because of the time zones. You can do a whole weekend of NRL rugby. And Andrew Abdo was in the article I was reading about this game, the State of Origin game being played in New Zealand. Abdo was talking about international growth again.
Mm.
So clearly they are looking at the international market.
Well, what I want to throw into that with is this is a steady plan. There's already a foothold of rugby league in New Zealand.
Yeah.
They haven't just thrown it somewhere around the world. I took it to Cape Town, where there's no rugby league footprint, really.
Well, they took it to America in the 80s. You'd know that if you'd watched Voss's Awesome 80s.
But my point being is it feels like a stepping stone, and then they might expand a little bit further and a little bit further, rather than a big play and risking it not working for the Premier.
But I feel like Vegas was that. Vegas was a big old swing.
Yeah, but I do also think with Vegas there's the element of fans are going to go and travel because it's Vegas.
Mm.
There will be a large section of fans. Where actually this State of Origin doesn't have loyal.
Oh, careful how you say this.
They've got loyal fans, but it's not you don't go following your team everywhere.
Mm.
It's 3 one-off games.
Yeah.
In
Oh, I know
fact,
what you mean, yeah.
rather than it being a team that you want to go and.
That culture isn't ingrained into Australians anyway, where you follow them over home and away, because it's so far between all the games. It's not like we've just driven to Castleford, that's one of the far games.
Yeah, you get what I mean? So, you're not going following your team.
It'll sell out.
Oh, yeah, it will do.
It'll sell out.
But I think that's good. Build it in New Zealand, do a year there, then maybe go a little bit further.
Yeah.
They've took it to Perth a few times, they've done things like that, then you take it.
But I feel like they took it to Perth a few times, and now all of a sudden we're getting a Perth team.
Mm.
I feel like this might be the first whisperings of a second
New Zealand
team, like a South Island team.
Good for the game.
Yeah.
And if that's the way that they have to get some interest there, and then they go, and then they turn up and they only sell 20% of tickets, they might go.
No, they won't.
I know they won't.
But if
they might just say,
it leads to another team in Wellington or Christchurch or Dunedin, then all of a sudden it's a success.
Yeah, definitely.
Would you make New Zealand Warriors change their name back to Auckland if you brought in Wellington or Christchurch or Dunedin?
I could actually just see them dropping the
Or
New
just being
Zealand
called
Warriors
Warriors.
and
Yeah,
just
yeah.
being the Warriors.
Yeah.
Because
That's the way it's going, isn't it?
up the wires and the
That's
big
the way
movement
it's
that they have.
going, isn't it? That is the way it's going.
Right, last one. A little bit of Wigan news. 4 of our... Well, there was more of this, but 4 youngsters went on loan to Salford.
Johnny Vaughan went on loan to Rochdale.
There we go. That's what I was...
They won
Yeah.
today.
Obviously, would hope to hear from some Rochdale fans about how Vaughan went. What I can say is we've heard from a couple of Salford fans who talked about the game. They said all of them went pretty well.
Yeah.
Nathan Law kicked 4 goals from 5 and got a try. Noah Hodgkinson got
2 tries.
2 tries. The message about Taylor Kerr and Lucas Mason they're as hard as nails. And
Wait, there's George Lachlan as well?
George Lachlan, yeah. So that's
5.
5 on loan. So a really good
Yeah, I think
situation.
in particular, I think Taylor Kerr impressed. And
Started at prop.
yeah, I don't mind them going and play games at Salford. I think if they carry on playing games at Salford, we'll try and get down to a few. I'd like to see them. But yeah, I mean that's the position Salford are in. Is they need that. They need that right
They need
now.
the support for the next couple of years.
And they need a bit of support from the other clubs. And if we're going to give them that, I mean, let's not pretend it's altruistic. You know,
We do get stuff out of it.
We get plenty out of it ourselves, which is game time for our young lads in men's rugby. And you might say Johnny Vaughan is a level above them because he's played a lot more Super League, and that's why he's gone to Rochdale, who were expecting to be
Towards the top end.
towards the top half of the table, but versus where Salford are expected to be. However, Salford did win today against Hunslet, was it?
Yes.
Against Hunslet. Rochdale also did win, as I said before. But that's a good news story for Salford. They've won their first game in the Championship. Is that the first win? Or they lost in the Cup, I know. Did they win one game already? Anyway, it doesn't really matter. They had a big performance out of the young lads we gave them over for this next couple of weeks. I wouldn't be against extending those deals and keeping an eye on more of our players, particularly if that's a high standard than our reserve grade.
Yeah. He didn't score, Johnny Vaughan. Just looking at it. It was 0-0. 0 points to 4. They were losing 4-0, so big second half for Rochdale.
Second half.
Right.
Fair enough.
We'll take a quick break and we'll come back with Around the Grounds. Okay, so Around the Grounds, a little bit longer this year with the extra games, so 6 games to discuss.
Yeah.
As always, we're going to do them in order of when they played. Seems like the best way to do it.
Yeah.
And on Thursday started off with the current champions. They went over to York in a requested fixture.
An easy fixture.
An easy fixture. Again,
they didn't request York. Let's be clear. They requested a team like York.
Bradford or Toulouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this is just... How many times did the club call bite people in the bum? This was a perfect storm. There was the fact that York had been chosen as this easy team.
Yeah.
That would give an easy opponent for Hull KR.
York to get Super League game.
It's their first Super League game. Stadium was packed. Conditions weren't great. This was a perfect storm. Do you remember Brentford coming up and beating Arsenal 2-0?
Yeah.
That was a perfect storm.
However, one eye on Hull KR
yeah,
for the next 2 weeks.
I did not see it coming, especially when it went to 18-6.
Yeah.
I did not see it coming at all.
I just want to throw things out there again. This is what we talk about. These teams who've just been promoted, finished the bottom of the table, got a lot to be ready for, a lot to work on. They spend all season waiting for this first game. And York have shown exactly why they're a threat.
York have shown why they've been putting Super League there. They filled out the state-of-the-art stadium.
Yep.
And they've turned over the champions.
Yep.
And what a start to Super League. If Super League can't capitalise on this, the momentum this gives you,
they never will.
They never will capitalise on any momentum. If this first round doesn't generate some momentum, I don't know what will.
No, neither do I. Great win for York beating the champions.
Yeah.
Won it with a drop goal.
Got to talk about the turning point though. Mikey Lewis.
Obviously, we're recording this Sunday. I don't know how many points he's on. Can't seem to find that. There is no seeming to be a record of how many points teams are on.
There's been parallels drawn to the Harry Smith. He got let off before the World Club Challenge. That was in the old system. That was in the old system of, has what you've done worth a ban?
Yeah.
Now, has what Mikey Lewis done, is that worth a ban?
A trip is a 2-game ban.
A deliberate trip, and it was a kick out.
Now, just to be clear, in the NRL, this is like the forbidden thing. You can't do anything to the kicker.
No.
Whilst he's kicking.
Because they've had some bad ones. The big one was Lachlan Ilias, wasn't it?
Yeah, attacking the legs and whatever.
Broken leg.
This is gone. Now, he's lucky he's walked away from it. You kick someone and you follow through like that and hit someone's shin. There was every chance you break your leg.
They were winding each other up, weren't they, these two? And I thought, at first typical halfbacks winding each other up. One of them will have the last laugh.
We'll see who that is.
Lewis kicked out at the legs of his opponent there. And obviously it wasn't picked up straight away. I didn't notice it straight away. You're watching the ball, aren't you?
Yeah.
But on the replay, it looked awful. And he's down, injured as well. Not surprised because he kicked somebody. And it's like shin on shin. That's going to injure you as well. I just think this is daft. You've got the game won, basically. A bit like what we talked about Kieran before. The game's won. There's no need to get yourself put in the sin bin to jeopardise that potentially.
But you're 18-6 up. You get out of the game. But even then, you've got to be thinking, and there has to have been a conversation beforehand. They're going to try and wind you up. They know you've got a big game next week that you don't want to be banned for. Don't fall for it. Like, these are professional sports players. Do not fall for that, Mikey. Whatever he says, whatever he does,
he didn't mean it. Him. He just wants you back for good.
But just don't even give them a chance.
No,
to ban you.
But for York, amazing moment with the drop goal.
Yeah,
amazing moment with the 2 tries for Sam Wood.
Incredible.
Yeah, they did well. Deserved it.
And that's
can they do it again next week? Which I'll say again in a few weeks. Months time.
I said round 5. You see by round 5 whether teams are a good team or whether it's high energy. Now, I do need to interrupt our Around the Grounds for some breaking news.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. Not often we get to do this.
No.
But the NRL has made an announcement. Any player who meets the existing State of Origin eligibility criteria will be able to play State of Origin regardless of the nation they represent in international fixtures.
Oh, that's good.
So this whole thing about eligibility and whether the tier 1, tier 2, and then some teams going into tier 1, and then that meaning people have to pick whether they represent their nation.
No, that's good. That's good news. That means that State of Origin will remain best on best, and also Australia won't be as dominant in World Cup play.
It's actually the solution.
Good news
that you would expect. So yeah, breaking news. We get to break something. I like that.
We didn't break it.
No, but we've got to break it on this podcast. Normally,
the podcast isn't going out till tonight.
Right,
next one.
Right. Over in France, Catalan beat Huddersfield 26-10. Some new faces playing mainly for Catalan. Charlie Staines at full back. They brought in Dodd and Sexton. Changes in the forwards. I can't go through them all because there's really a lot of changes.
Well, I don't know how much we'll have to say about this game. We did watch it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't particularly memorable. However, the Catalan had a lot of nice touches. Lewis Dodd had a lot of nice touches. He was creative. He was dynamic. Toby Sexton had just what Catalan needed. Charlie Staines was good. I really
I like the centre, me.
I liked a lot of what I saw. Fatapi. That one.
Yeah.
I liked a lot of what I saw out of Catalan there. And Levy looked good when he came on as well.
Yes.
So yeah, I liked a lot of what I saw from Catalan in this game. I didn't like a lot of what I saw from Huddersfield. It felt like Sam Horsall's magic try apart. They offered nothing really going forward, and it was a magic try. I know they scored again, didn't they, in the end?
Yeah.
But for a very long time, it was just that was the only moment of even any sort of spark.
I don't want to keep going back to it. We talk about being set up for the season. Huddersfield, after a bad campaign last year, and let's not sugarcoat it, it was a bad campaign.
It was.
After the money they spent and the players they brought in, they had to be firing from game one.
Yeah.
Now, either they've had a bad day at the office and we see them firing in week 2, or that might just be the standard of them.
Yeah. In which case, we don't know much about Catalan yet.
No, because we can say it however we want, but if you're a bad team in 2025 and not a great team in 2024, and you start with 3 or 4 bad results in 2026, the answer might be there.
Yeah, maybe.
So I doubt we can judge Catalan. It was awful conditions, we should say.
It was poor conditions. It was. There was a sliding try for Staines, was it?
Yeah.
Where the water went up everywhere.
It was really funny, this game with Navarrete. He started the game, but he got changed and completely came out in a new kit in the second half.
So they put a tackle on the left-hand side, and I said, we were here with a bunch of people watching, I said, see if you can tell which one Navarrete is when it zooms out, he's got a new kit on. And it was like, everyone was wearing a brown kit, and then you got a
bright
gleaming white kit.
Like, it's like an advert for Vanish.
Yeah, an advert for Daz before and after.
Yeah. But yeah, 2 points on the board for Catalan. A better start than what they had in previous.
Yeah, we'll see what they can do next week as well, see if they can back it up.
Worth mentioning, Friday 6pm. Don't mind a French team playing at 6pm on a Friday.
Liked it if it's in France, I like it.
It's impossible to get to, let's be clear, if you've got UK teams transferred.
Well, yeah, but it's impossible to get to anyway if it's Friday night. So, I don't know. I do feel like we've missed out a trick. We could have had a Saturday lunchtime or a Saturday 3, probably, or even a Saturday 4 o'clock to make 3 games on Saturday. But listen, there's 2 games there that we got to watch when we would have only got to watch 1 last year. So I'm pleased with that. Yeah.
Right, 2 games kicking off at Friday 8pm. I'm going to start off with the one that we watched the majority of.
Yes.
So obviously they were on at the same time. We had Warrington Saints on.
We did.
Warrington winning 18-0 at half time, winning the game 24 points to 14. Well,
we spoke about the fallout from Saints in the news section. So let's now take our moment to congratulate Warrington on a great performance. Look, we've got to start with Kai Taylor, right?
Well, I was going to say, there's a couple of things from this. One,
fantastic.
We know Warrington fell off last year and they had to start this season well, and there was a bit of pressure on Sam Burgess. He started that first bit well. Kai Taylor-Ray has justified moving Matt Duffy on.
Yes.
Because that was always going to be the thing. If he didn't have a great game in his first one, it was going to get brought up, oh, well, you've let Duffy go.
Yeah. Not only did he have a great game, he had a fantastic game.
Yeah, and now he's got credit in the bank.
Yep. And Lewis mentioned it last week when we talked about the Williams to the Dolphins move. Williams and Sneed partnering, not for the first time, but for the first time with the pre-season and with a sort of settled side. And I thought they were very good. I thought they both complemented each other well. They did what they needed to, but also Sneed did what he does well, which is organise and guide the team around the park. And Williams added a lot with his running game. Creatively. So I do think that there's a lot to like from Warrington in this game. An awful lot to like from Warrington in this game.
Kai Taylor-Ray, 220 metres.
Yeah. Yeah. But again, I questioned the pack of Saints last week, or the week before, whenever it was.
They haven't answered any questions.
No, they haven't. But also that means I can't judge Warrington's pack.
Yeah. They'll have tougher challenges.
I can judge how nicely they played in the backs, but I can't judge the pack just yet.
One player I want to mention, I think it's a big thing for him this year, Toby King.
Yeah, Toby King had a good game. Had a really, really good game.
Obviously, after the loan move to Wigan, which was successful, but there was a lot of talk about him not working with Daryl Powell and
him not wanting to go back necessarily.
Yeah, and then him not wanting to go back, whatever. I thought he was a really good standard I love the yardage he did. He's a threat coming forward. He's decent defensively.
Yeah, I liked a lot of what I saw out of Toby King in this game.
And now you've got two set centres in Toby King and Albert Hopewati.
Yeah.
It could be a real strike force.
He scored a nice try. That was disallowed.
Yeah.
And he scored a lovely try that was disallowed there. He got up off the floor to back up.
It was very nice.
Yeah, he originally got called back though.
Saints, any standouts for Saints?
Any standouts for Saints? Well,
Joe Shaw's had 45 tackles.
Shorrock's played. Yeah, he played down the middle of it. I think McDonald played okay.
He's a threat all the time, isn't he?
He's always going to be a threat, him. Yeah.
The interesting thing is going to be who replaces Wellesby at fullback.
Yeah. In the game, I think McDonald went back there.
Yeah.
But that's in a game, and it's easier to go without a winger in a game, whatever. Shuffle everybody out one. I mean, you could put Saylor, you could put Robertson, or you could put McDonald. They've all played fullback a lot in their careers. It's not easy to replace Saylor at 6, although you could put Lomax in there. That's kind of two similar halfbacks, you might say. Robertson and McDonald were both playing centre in this game, so you could move either one of them to the back, and Dion Cross could play centre because they've got some good wingers.
Murphy, Dagnall.
So Douglas, yeah. So it probably would be Dagnall, wouldn't it, given that he was given the nod off the bench. So, yeah, weird bench composition as well, wasn't it? So
yeah.
We thought there was only one prop on the bench, it was Walmsley, who's not a big minutes prop. There was Lomax, who came on as a sub-9.
Well, that's going to be a worry place.
There was Dagnall, who came on because Wellesby got injured.
They've shown the hand here. Sailor's going to be the 6, or Hastings is going to be the 7.
But they're going to have to chuck the ball about if that's the bench they're going with. They're going to have to chuck the ball about at the back, which is the rolly way. But they're going to have to chuck the ball about a lot at the back because where's the goal forward off the bench? Jacob Host is a second rower that they used at prop.
I do get that you've lost, what's his name? Lees.
Yes.
So Lees starts and probably Delaney to the bench.
But you could put Noah Stevens or Ricky Parsi on the bench.
Parsi's still injured.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Right, well, you could put Noah Stevens on the bench.
And and I don't get why you would have Lomax. Who let's be honest, Lomax could fill you in at centre, fill in at centre. He's played there before if you pick up an injury. Like, he does give you a few options.
But also Saylor can cover 1, 2, and 5, so...
I don't think you need both of them on your bench.
I don't think you need them both on your bench either.
Be interesting to see how that goes forward, so I'd keep an eye on that if you're...
Warrington, they've got a week off next week because it was when they were going to play Hull KR. I think they'll have wanted to strike now after this amazing performance. You know, full crowd in the dark for some reason. Luke Littler was there rattling the Saints supporters.
Yeah. Maybe, you know what? I'm saying they might want to play next week. It might just be a week off. Watch what everyone's doing. Go through your players again. The pros and cons.
It's another week of you being the hot team. And you can sit back and watch everybody knowing you're still going to be the hot team in round 3.
Yeah, because everyone's going to be watching.
Because everyone's going to be watching what you do in round 3, no matter what anyone does in round 2, which is fair enough. I mean, maybe they'll...
If they win in round 3, it's great having the week off. If they lose, the week off's killed the momentum. The outcome almost affects the story, though.
I know, it often does.
Yeah.
It often does.
Right. Next game on Friday was over at the Lee Sports Village.
Yes.
I've actually forgot the official name of it now.
The Lee Sports Village?
What it should be. Seen as...
the Leopard's Den.
As the Leopard's Den. Did they not sign something recently?
The progress with Unity Stadium that
they
decided not to do because they didn't want to progress with Unity anymore.
That one?
Because it was linked to Wigan Council.
I'm going to keep calling it the progress with
Unity. At the progress with Unity Stadium, Lee beat Leeds
26-14.
But again, it were a bit more comfortable than that looks.
Yeah, they scored. I think they scored one late. They were 10-2 up at half time. Went away with it. I get Leeds had a couple of injuries. I get they were missing.
That Leeds squad though, when you read it out to me on Friday night before the game, I thought you can get at that. And I know there's a lot of optimism over Leeds this year.
I think we're in a situation of 1-17, really good.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, if you bring Sevo back in there and Hanley
Jake Connor,
suddenly you're looking at that. But they've got a couple of injuries, and you're into Chris Hankinson, you're into Riley Lum.
Yeah.
George Brown is the backup halfback.
Yeah.
If they lose Lockie Miller, who goes to a fullback?
Yeah.
Probably Connor.
Alfie Edgell.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
So you're not into great depth, really. But this was really good from Lee. They did
the job, didn't they?
The dominant side, really.
Yeah.
The one thing we said look out for, Adam Cook did play that role that we expected him to.
Yeah, game organiser.
Lockie Lamb creating.
Yeah.
I would be very surprised if Lockie Lamb gets his 41 try assists that he did last season.
Because Adam Cook might get some.
Well, because that's a ridiculous number
It
anyway.
is a ridiculous number, yeah.
But even if he sits
He might score
high
more.
20s,
He might score more himself and not assist as many because he's now got a partner in crime. You might say with Adam Cook.
My point being is I don't think he's going to limit what Lachlan Lamb can do.
No,
his numbers might not be as good, but he's not going to limit it
never
either. So yeah,
good start for Lee.
Little bit of biff in this game.
Yeah, there was a bit, wasn't there?
Yeah, it seemed to go on. Matt Davis was sin-binned for running in after an altercation with Tessie New and Harry Newman, where Harry Newman got sat down for 10. So keep an eye out for any points picked up there. That was for fighting. So
yeah, but not punching, so that's not as bad.
Yeah. Well, again, 2 points and
2 points on the board for Lee.
I don't think Leeds will be too worried. There's that thing of you could lose to Lee at Lee any time of the season.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, it's that thing we were talking about before. You can go to Leopard's Den, the Progress with Unity Stadium, and lose when you're on form. So if you're going to do it in round one, no skin off your nose.
Yeah.
So to speak.
Exactly.
As long as you win next week.
Now,
they've got York next week at all. They've got to win that. Got to beat York.
Got
to beat Greece.
We will mention the games at the end. Who's playing and whatnot. It might be worth just having a quick fly through then. So before we do that, we'll go on to Saturday's games. 2 games. Hull FC play Bradford. Now, Hull win.
They do.
I will spoil the next game. Bradford being the only team promoted time not to win.
Yeah.
But they also never got dragged out of this game. They kept themselves in it.
They had chances to win it.
Yeah. They've ended up losing 27-20.
Scored some stylish tries too, didn't they? Scored 3 tries and they were all stylish.
Yeah. My point being here, it was 21-20. This Hull scored a try right at the end.
Yeah.
It was Bradford that missed the first attempt.
The first
Bradford that got ahead and were 2018 and meant that they had to take a penalty to even it up.
Yeah.
They kept Hull scoreless for the first 39 minutes of the second half. Until they scored right at the very end.
There's a lot to like there from Bradford.
Yeah.
And there's really is a lot to like there from Bradford because you feel like their squad is probably Super League ready, just about. It's definitely 2026 Super League ready, but it's probably just about 2025 Super League ready. And they're going to probably be difficult to beat at home, you'd imagine.
Yeah.
So they
made a good account of themselves.
They did make a good account of themselves, and they did almost win this game. That's the problem then, though, because
you don't want to be kneeling men.
You don't want to be, if you've got a couple of tricky games coming up, you don't want to be still searching for your first win in week 5, week 6.
Yeah.
Now the other 2 teams, if they go and lose the next 3 games, at least they've had that first win. At least they're on the board. At least they're not on 0. The more that goes on, I'm not saying it will. But they need to get one as soon as possible, really.
What I will say is I do think Bradford have played, of the 3, the more difficult opponent. Hull KR are looking ahead.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, Hull KR are looking at Vegas.
Hull FC away is a tricky game anytime.
But also Hull FC have got a point to prove.
I think they all had tricky games. Wakefield away made the playoffs last year.
Exactly.
Hull KR are the champions.
But again, this is my point. Hull KR are looking for the games next week. Wakey are going to look to not tail off at the end of the season. They're trying to build that out. I think Hull FC have got to prove a point at home. They've got to be better at home.
They've got to be much better at home.
Yeah. they've got to get off to a start.
And they escaped with 2 points. And like we said about us, if you can get out of the first week with 2 points, you're happy, regardless of what the performance is like.
Whether you win by 1 or you win by 50, it doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't. In week 1, it doesn't.
Then points difference will not decide your thing.
No.
Really.
No.
Right.
Last game?
Yeah, anything else to say on that one, sorry? On Hull FC?
No, I've not, no.
No. Wakefield Toulouse. Again, another side that just didn't drop out of it.
No. And Toulouse didn't really fill us with confidence, mainly because we didn't know most of the players
Yes.
by Super League, experience. But they are obviously greater than the sum of their parts. They are obviously a good team. And I say team very strongly. A good team. And that can get you a long way in this game.
They never got blown away. They won this game 18 points to 16. They were 6-0 down and drag it back to 8-6 at half time. The only concern is they actually missed 3 kicks at goal.
Yeah.
I think he hit the post twice. And this game would have been a little bit more comfortable.
Yeah.
No one was really going to expect... What's the word? No one was really going to ever expect Toulouse to go and to beat Wakey.
No, I'm just looking at the stats here. So they both completed 72%, but that was 12 more sets for Toulouse. So they had a lot more ball.
A lot more ball.
An awful lot more ball.
They scored an extra try. I just think it's a great win, and
Yeah, they didn't miss as many tackles. They didn't make as many errors.
don't get me wrong, Wakey will be upset. They'll be disappointed that they've not took a win at home.
Yeah.
But realistically, it's the same conversation that we've had. And we know where Wakey are going to be. They should end up mid-table. So only now Toulouse can look forward to next week.
Yep.
They're at home. I know we said we're going to mention the games next week. I'm pretty certain Toulouse
Let's see.
have Castleford at home.
Oh, wow. Oh, if they can compile Cass's misery from today, and all of a sudden Toulouse is sitting on 4 from 4, well, that would be a turn up for the books. That would put the cat among the pigeons.
Exactly. Right, before we finish, I'm going to quickly run you through a couple of games and I want to hear your thoughts on it.
Okay.
Obviously, Hull KR were meant to be playing Warrington.
Yeah.
Postponed.
Yeah,
they play the World Club Challenge on Thursday against
They
Brisbane.
need a performance. They don't necessarily need to win, but they need a performance.
Honestly, I think about trophies. Who cares? Who cares how you play? As long as you stood there at the end with the trophy.
Well, yeah, but if they don't win, they need to put in a good performance. Go on, next one.
Bradford Catalan.
Well, we'll get to see how Catalan travel this year. We'll get to see how Bradford play at Odsal.
I think there's a bit of pressure on Bradford here to get that first win.
Depends how good Catalan... You could look back at this at the end of the season and Catalan are in the top 5.
Yeah.
And go, oh, right, well... But if you look back at this at the end of the season and Catalan end up where they were last year, you think, oh, I really should have beat them. So I do think there's a bit of pressure on there.
It's going to be an interesting game because we don't know much about them too.
No, I'm interested to watch that one, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm interested. It probably won't be my first choice of Sky pick on that day, but I'll be keeping a close eye on it, I'll tell you that.
Oh, yeah. Leeds, York. Leeds will be desperate for 2 points.
Leeds are desperate, and York are no longer desperate for 2 points.
Yeah.
So...
Leeds will be really worried about going to Vegas without any points.
Yeah, good point there.
I'm just going to say this. Hull KR will be going to Vegas.
Without any point, but that's fine.
That's fine. They've only got one game.
That's fine. They've had the World Cup Challenge.
But they're going to have to bring Jake Connor back in. If they want him playing in Vegas, you're going to need some game time before then. It'll be interesting to see what they do with the backs. If Newman picks up a ban, is Ash Hanley back? Is Makasivo back? Riley Lum struggled.
Yeah.
Dropped a few high balls. York will just get to play with that freedom.
They will have freedom, yeah. That'll be interesting as well.
No.
Not as interesting as the main game.
No. Saints, Lee.
Yeah. Saints, it could get ugly. At home, against Lee, if Lee roll them over, that could get very ugly.
Yeah.
However, if St Helens put up a fight and beat them, that's the launch pad for the season.
Yes.
So this, it seems stupid. I know it's week 2. Big week this for Saints.
The only consolation that Saints could have is that you could lose at Warrington and lose to Lee at any point in the season.
Yeah.
So you would expect at some point.
And I would say yes to this, and I would say yes if it were Leeds, or if it were Catalan or whoever. But the off-field stuff, to me, doubles or triples the pressure. Because of the off-field stuff, and a lot of fans are going to disagree with the off-field, what they'll have taken aside, one way or the other.
It's impossible not to.
They'll be under loads more pressure than they need to be because of that.
I've just thought of something else as well. They've got to beat a top 4 side.
Well, it's 9 out of 24 now, isn't it? Wigan, Hull KR, Lee and Warrington have beaten, combined, St Helens 24 times in a row. Or 23 times in a row, something like that.
I think it's 23.
So Lee are going for 24.
And
so that you're thinking that, right, is 6 times each. No, it isn't.
yeah,
But average, you're thinking those 4 teams have beaten you 6 times in a row. Each.
it means you've lost home and away.
3 times, pretty much.
Yeah.
To the 4 teams. The 4 teams that you would consider your competition that you're in around. Probably them and Leeds.
And Lee aren't going to just turn up. They'll be thinking if we can have beat Leeds.
Leeds are thinking, Lee will all of a sudden be thinking, right, home to Leeds, away to Saints, that's a tough start. But if you get away with 4 points, you're thinking, right, brilliant. Because then it takes a bit of pressure off game 4, which is Wigan, or is that game 3?
Game 3.
So it takes a bit of pressure off game 3, which is that's a really tough start for Lee.
Right. Toulouse, Cass. We mentioned it briefly.
Yeah.
Toulouse is going to be interesting to see the stadium again, see them back in Super League at home. They always got a decent turnout at
They
home.
normally do, but that stadium dwarfs it because it's so big.
Castleford,
Yeah,
a little bit of pressure now.
there'll be a little bit, yeah.
Not majorly.
Toulouse is a game where you think you could lose that. Again, you could lose that any time going to Toulouse, going away to France. So there's a little bit of pressure on. They probably are okay with the performance from today.
But like I said, you don't want to be that team that sat there 2 games without winning.
No, you end up looking at the table too early, which we all do. We're all guilty of that. And thinking, oh, we're near the bottom. We're right near the bottom. We were supposed to be in the mid-table.
We now have to win 4 out of 5.
Yeah, which is wrong, but that's the way you think as a supporter, isn't it?
Yeah. Wigan play 8 o'clock Saturday.
Yeah.
Home to Hull FC.
Yeah, first home game, really looking forward to it.
I'm excited for this.
It was close when we played Marshall's Testimonial. The intensity will be up.
Hopefully a good crowd on.
Good crowd up and to the right. Hopefully we're thinking about the crowd and the standard of the game. I'm really, really looking forward to this one. I think they'll travel in numbers. Saturday 8 o'clock probably isn't the nicest time, but it's also not the worst. So I'm really, really looking forward to this one. I just hope we can build on today's performance and start to get into the season properly.
Yeah, big time. Finally, Sunday, 3 o'clock. Wakefield, Huddersfield. One of these teams
needs to win.
One of them will be sat there on nothing.
Yeah.
And
unless they draw.
Well, yeah. I hope that doesn't happen. But both of these could potentially be sat here thinking, if we lose this, we're sat on none in 2 games that we probably think we should win. If Huddersfield want to take that step and improve on last year, they've got to beat teams like a Catalan.
Yeah, I don't know Catalan away.
You've got to compete with them though, and they didn't compete.
Wakefield at home will be circled as one that you
should win.
That you should have a good do at winning. Wakefield will have the same with Huddersfield away. Will be circled as a game they should win.
What I will say for Huddersfield is if you don't beat them teams, them 2, Catalan, I know it's away, but Catalan, Wakey at home, then your season's not going to improve, is it? It's not going to be any better than last year.
Well, I don't know. Teams can turn it around any time, but it's obviously not started well if you lose those 2 games.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm interested in every single game though you just read. I'm interested because it's the early season and because it's not gone like anyone thought it would, apart from Catalan winning and us winning comfortably. Because it's not gone like that. I mean, I probably would have predicted Lee to beat Leeds, but not by much.
Yeah.
And I probably might have predicted Warrington to beat Saints, but I would have predicted close either way there. But it's not gone the way we thought it would. there's not been any blowout scores. There's been 2 of the promoted sides won. The other one nearly won. The champions have lost in the first game, which we did last year, by a point as well, ironically. So yeah, I'm looking forward to round 2.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting.
The extra games added excitement as well. The new teams.
I'm just going to say, the extra teams at the bottom, ultimately you will end up with more teams at the bottom. The more teams you add, there can only be so many at the top.
Yeah.
But they're all fighting and picking up 2 points when you probably shouldn't, or against the team that you shouldn't, matters. Really does matter. And that's the way Super League should be. Every game should matter.
Super League's back. And hopefully it's better than ever. It's been a great week for Super League. It's going to be a great year for Super League. 30th year looks like it's going to be closer than ever across 1 to 14. If this isn't the launch pad that Super League needed to promote the game this week, then I don't know what is.
Exactly. Right. Matty, it's been a long day.
Yeah.
But thank you for coming on. Thank you for staying and doing the podcast. Hopefully we have a good performance on Saturday and a good result. And
we'll be back at work by the time we do the next podcast, so Lewis will be back here.
Yeah.
I'll be back from holiday. I'll get back just in time for the game. I did make that clear.
So we'll be back probably Monday.
Yeah, we'll record it probably next Monday.
And until then, see you later.
See you soon.